What is up? Welcome back to Bleach Boys. As always, so much Bleach news to talk about. On this week's episode of the filler arc, we're going to be talking, of course, the Klub Outside questions. This week, they ask about who created that underground playground that Yoruichi and Kisuke like to use in the Soul Society. Whose idea was it? Also, Kubo went out to dinner with the author of Black Clover and Kaiju number 8.
Oh, Tabata.
So very, very cool. The Bleach soundtrack is now streaming on Spotify. For
yes!
I believe it's Core 2, which is crazy how far behind they are.
I just want the Quincy song, like that battle.
Well, what we need is Pepe's theme.
Well,
come in.
Sorry, I totally forgot about Pepe.
Bleach was nominated for multiple Crunchyroll Anime Awards, so we have that to talk about.
I voted.
And then, of course, Bleach Rebirth of Souls is all over the place. They released a survey for players with a couple of interesting questions that I've taken screenshots from, and I made John rage quit from Bleach Rebirth of Souls since last time we saw.
I saw that post.
Ooh, my shining accomplishment, my greatest accomplishment I've ever done.
I watched a couple of your clips. You got so much better.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you. Thank you.
You know,
I have okay. I have the clip.
Oh, you do have
I'm gonna upload the clip. I have it. We played 2 matches. To be fair, and I'm gonna do a little narration before I start the clips. That way I could upload it. But I do have the clip. I have it all set up aside already. To go back, I streamed Bleach Rebirth of Souls. I don't know what day I streamed. did 1 stream since the last podcast, and it was
last Friday.
Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Yes, so it would have been right after we recorded. I guess it would have been right in that little middle ground. And I played against all of the Discord people. I opened it up to challenges for anybody. Anybody who wants to play against me can play against me. I got destroyed. Robert, our friend, our editor, roasted me on multiple occasions, and he doesn't even play the fucking game.
Damn.
Like he the first time we played, he was like, "Oh yeah, it's my first time playing it," and he just started roasting me. So that's tough. John, of course, wanted to show me how he has modded characters that are not playable to be playable online.
Oh.
So I guess there is a way to mod characters. Like an example, Aizen does not have his monster form as a playable form, but it is a boss that you fight in the main storyline. He brought that to online and roasted me with it. And you can play as the full monster form Aizen, and it does like a bajillion damage against you. Also, he was able to change like skins and all kinds of crazy shit. So that was cool. And then we started, I was getting close to a couple people. I don't think I hardly won at all. I don't know if I won anything. And finally, some saving grace. I don't remember what his name is. I'm so sorry. Someone in Discord was like, "Sam, you play as Stark. Why don't you ever use his special move number 2?" And I was like, "Por qué? Like what? Like what could you be talking about?" And so finally, some nice gentleman explained to me how this move works, because I've read the description. I don't get it. He's like, "So you charge up to 100 spiritual power, and once you use it, your bar will slowly start to go down. It'll go like 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 94. But as it's doing that, you can now spam your heavy attack, which is a Seireitei, as much as you fucking want.
Damn.
And you can also spam, like, I think there's just a couple restrictions on it where once you use it, it's not going to go. But basically, you can do your flash attacks. Anything that requires a Seireitei regularly, you can now spam the fuck out of it.
Damn.
Was unaware that was a thing. I had played with it in the lab a couple times, and I just couldn't see what would be the reasoning in using that, because obviously in the testing zone, your Reiatsu is like automatically going back up. So like, I don't get it. And it was like, "Oh, well, if you use this, you can't use your spiritual pressure move number 1. And I was like, well, I obviously want to use that one. Like, that seems strange. Popped it. Dude, I was popping off.
Game changer.
Absolute game changer. So that was told to me in the middle of facing John. John thought he was going to be super disrespectful and play me as Stark, because he was like, "You're so bad, I'm going to beat you with your own character." Because I was telling everybody the whole stream that Stark's just a bad character. Just a bad character. I've said it a million times. He's a bad character. And he was like, "I'm going to beat you with your own character. I beat you with like all the other characters in the fucking roster. I'm going to beat you with my own character." I 3-stopped him. He didn't take a bar off me in Stark. Not a single bar, dog. Embarrassing, honestly. And then, so of course, he had to get serious on the second one. I allowed him a second match. I could have been really disrespectful myself and quit right there and never played John again.
Oh my god!
I could have really have roasted him.
I'm surprised you didn't do it.
But I was what is it? I was honorable in my victory. I was a humble winner, and so I allowed John to play again, even though old Sam would have never have done such a
Old
thing
Sam
like
would
that.
have retired as champ.
But I did it. I was like, all right, let's do it. He chose Ulquiorra.
Ooh.
He is under the impression, and somebody else spoke, which honestly, this might be a bit baldest at this point. He was asking who my favorite Espada was, and I was like, oh, you know. And somebody else said Ulquiorra. So he was like, oh, your favorite's Ulquiorra. I was like, that's not my favorite Espada. Like, what's the only Espada I'm playing in the fucking game? Like, that's great. But he's like, oh, I'm going to play your favorite Espada, Ulquiorra. And I'm like, yeah, oh, whatever. You know, no problem. And I've played a couple rounds against Ulquiorra before, and I get close because his Ceros take his own health bar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I smoked his ass again. I smoked his ass, dude. Like, he did take a bar off me this time. Like, he took some of my, my Kikon off of me. Or not my Kikon, my Kompaku. But I fucking smoked his ass.
Damn,
and
poor John.
Everybody in the Discord was, like, going ape shit monkey wild, which made it so much worse. And everyone's like, oh, and Churd was in there. And Churd was like, John, like, you got to go back to the lab, man. Like, you can't show your face around. Like, everybody was clowning on John. And John was just like, I muted these stupid fucking monkeys. I can't hear a single thing over there. And then he just left Discord. Left Discord. And that's how I ended my stream. And it was, I've never felt a greater moment of triumph than when I destroyed John like that. It really made my Friday. I have not touched the game since. So
hey, you champion.
I ended on a high. It was really, really great. I don't know what else to say aside from that I clowned on him. I clowned on him hard. I've learned the trick to Stark. Now, that being said, if I'm never able to get 100 spears of power, I'm fucked. I'm just back to the same one, and it's very hard to get 100. And once that 100 runs out, I'm fucked because I just, hate to see it. But I was blasting people now that I knew that. Oh, I was blasting.
Okay, Sam, I need to tell you that I was...
But they were...
When you sent me the message, because Sam messages, hey guys, I smoked John so hard he rage quit. I said, Sam, please tell me you're going to upload the clip so I can watch it. He said, I'm doing it right now. And the clip has not been uploaded yet, and I'm still so sad. I check back every day. I'm like, is the smoke clip happening now?
The full stream is up, right?
The whole stream is up still.
I'm not going
I
through
clipped
a stream.
the match.
It needs to be on YouTube.
It's at the end.
It was a long one too. I probably streamed for like 3 hours. So
yeah,
it was
a long stream.
It will be up momentarily. It'll be up soon. Let's say this comes out Sunday. I will have it up Monday. So that anybody listening to this, stay tuned to tomorrow, and you'll see the clip where I smoked the fuck out of John. Maybe I'll title it like best Stark player in the world or something like that. We'll see what ridiculous title I can come up with, and we'll go from there. Have you played any Rebirth of Souls at all since last podcast, Pithes?
No. So the same weird glitch happened, and I don't know how to explain it. I went to hit Rebirth of Souls, and then I just played Monster Hunter for 5 hours on my day off.
Well, how are you still liking Monster Hunter? Give us the quick recap.
11 out of 10. Best game.
Okay, beautiful.
Oh, nice,
beautiful.
nice.
I have some questions.
You have some questions, but I need to let you know that there's an event quest happening now where you fight a monster that's a giant chicken, and when you beat it, you get an adorable little green chicken that sits on your head.
Like a baby
so
chocobo?
Is that the April Fool's event, or is that something that I started before then?
I think it started after that. I don't know. I'm just very happy to have the little guy on my head. It's so nice.
And if we're talking about things on heads, and we're gonna talk about things that maybe I'm lacking on my head, Pithes did get me a birthday present. I should address it. It is this beautiful shirt that I'm wearing currently, and it says in all fucking boomer font right on the front, with a body like this, who needs hair?
Have you worn it out?
I told Pithes that I will wear the inaugural wearing on this podcast. So
gotcha.
I have the shirt on from Pithes. Thank you very much.
What does your fiance think?
She thought it was funny. She thought it was very, very funny. So
I'm going to be honest. I didn't care what you thought. I'm just like, good. I'm glad Katie's happy.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great little gift. I saved it to premiere on the podcast, so that way we have it. Truly beautiful, spectacular, and it fits very well. It's a very comfy shirt, Pithes. I gotta say.
Shout outs to Jose. As soon as I decided to buy it, I was like, Jose, what size is Sam? And he goes, he's extra large. I'm like, okay, good enough.
Yep.
I wouldn't know that.
Great.
I have no clue what any of my friends' sizes are. So Jose knows more.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's that's most men. I think most men don't know that, so I think that's fair. Before we get too far for Bleach Rebirth of Souls, I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got a bunch of questions. I found these questions to be very, very interesting, what they're asking. Okay. So if just to recap, maybe this is your first podcast that you've ever seen. Bleach Rebirth of Souls is out. It's missing a couple of core features that fighting games are missing, and there's a lot of bugs. So they put out a patch that fixed a lot of bugs. There's still a lot of bugs in the game. So they finally put out a survey, and they were like, hey, please fill out this survey so we can better understand like what you guys want to see from the game, what you guys like to be seen fixed in the game. Shockingly or not shockingly, most of the questions are about like what you want to see for a different Bleach game or like what you'd like to see in the future.
So did they give a
party?
I
found that to be very interesting, and I've collected said questions from you
Bleach
here,
RPG.
so we can get you guys answers.
Bleach RPG.
So the first question that I thought was very interesting was, please select the option that best reflects your feelings about the following franchises. Now, Bleach, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto/Boruto, and the fifth option, Marvel.
Is this because of rivals?
I would assume that is the case, and they want to know if you don't like it at all or like very much. So for me, that was very quick. I put like very much on all four, and I put somewhat don't like. that was a quick little beep 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 beep, and went down there and then moved on with my life.
Oh, we're loving it right now. Is Emma Frost in there?
I bet you would probably hit like very much on almost all of these, Jose, except maybe One Piece.
I like One Piece. I just don't love it's the bottom of my big three.
So maybe you would put somewhat like instead of like very much. Okay. Because the other ones I know we love already. Dragon Ball, Bleach, Naruto, Boruto. You love Marvel.
I put Marvel as uninterested and One Piece as hate, and then everything else as like
absolutely
the correct one. Corporate terminology on the survey, Pithes, is for Marvel you would put dislike. Somewhat don't like,
somewhat.
And then for One Piece you would put don't like at all is the option that they give you.
You heard me.
The next question, which I also thought was very funny, and this is gonna be a very scandalous. I sandbagged this on purpose because I know a lot of fuckers are trying to get this to get put into the game. So it says, please select the option that best reflects your feelings about the manga and anime works of the Bleach series, and it lists all of the arcs for Bleach. And so we had talked about before, like, what is this Arrancar arc that they're referring to? This confirms that they believe the Arrancar arc is literally everything Aizen after the Soul Society arc.
Damn.
That is what they are referring to as Arrancar arc. So they have Agent of the Shinigami arc, which is the very first one when Ichigo gets his powers. The Soul Society arc, we all know Soul Society Rescue arc. Love it, love it, love it. The Arrancar arc, which we have the full game up to right now, which is everything Aizen. The Lost Substitute Shinigami arc, the Fullbringers, right? And then Thousand-Year Blood War arc. And they ask again, please rate them. Don't like at all, somewhat don't like, neutral, somewhat like very much. So in classic fashion, I put like very much on all of them except for one arc. I fucking tanked the Fullbringer arc.
Yeah, I knew
tanked the fuck out of that Fullbringer arc. There's so many people that are asking for Genjo to be added to the game. And I think the Fullbringer arc has grown on me a tiny bit in my old age because like I have fond memories looking back to it now. I'm like, okay, you know what? We love mentioning Tsukushima. Love him.
He's the best.
Genjo's cool. The fight with Genjo and Ichigo at the end is awesome. Good to go. I have no fond memories before that final confrontation. None of them. Zero. I don't have any fond memories from that except for maybe Ikumi. Shout out.
When Ichigo runs to her house in the middle of the rain.
Just her as a character, Jose. Just period. I put don't like it all on that Lost Substitute Shinigami arc. And I gave everything else a like very much across the board.
Sam, the only good thing the Fullbringers gave us was their participation in Can't Free Your Own World.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! And I mean, we can say also the Byakuya scene with Tsukushima. I mean, you can't disregard that.
Oh, that's true. That was a hardcore one.
Yeah, but you had to sit through the whole arc to get through it.
We're just cherry picking the one beautiful piece of ice cream in a mound of caca. Okay.
I'll add another one. Rukia hanging out with the plushies was very cute.
Yes.
That's all I got.
The next question was just asking, what are the games that you have played? And some of them were old Bleach games. So Bleach Brave Souls is on here. Bleach Soul Rising, Bleach Soul Resurrection. I played that. Love that. Bleach the DS series. And it's just asking like literally any DS, like Third Phantom, Fourth Flamebringer, etc. Bleach versus Crusade, Bleach Heat the Soul series, where Heat the Soul is all the PSP games that are fucking awesome. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, Hinokami Chronicles, which is the next in the Naruto Ninja Storm series, Jump Force, Naruto Ninja Storm series, or none of the above. We know my answers for that. I just thought that was interesting to see what games they were listing there and how they actually listed some of the older Bleach games, even though I'm not quite sure if they're exactly Bandai Namco, so I thought that was cool.
I kind of want to take the survey. Where can I find it?
It's on their Twitter. Now, here is
right.
one that you will like, Pithes, that you were just screaming about, is please select up to the 5 of the following game genres you like. And so now they want to know what game genres you like as a Bleach fan. And they have everything on here. Damn. So they start with Party, and they specifically list Mario Party, Fall Guys, Raving Rabbids, or whatever the fuck that game's called. I immediately clicked that one. I would die inside to have a Bleach Party game. Die inside.
Dude, can you imagine mini games with Bleach characters?
Yes.
And Cone is like the toad of the
I
whole
would die
thing?
inside, Jose. I would die inside. The next one right underneath that.
Let me pitch a mini game.
All
I
right.
have You know the Mario Party mini game where you have to, it's like red light, green light, and you can't get caught?
Yeah.
Okay, it's that, but the loser has to go be Kenpachi's training partner.
Yeah, I like it.
That's a good one. We love that. The one right underneath Party, which I will tell you, I instantly checked that check mark. A massively multiplayer online, an MMO, like World of Warcraft,
God,
New World, Final Fantasy, or Lost Ark.
My God!
Click. They got me 2 out of 5 already. I can only get 5 genres.
Pithes,
click.
You get to create your OC.
As long as there's controller support.
Oh, yeah, doubt it. Sorry. So the next one you'll probably like. The next one on the box is JRPG, like Persona 5, Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Pokemon.
Yes.
Dude, I put so much time into all of those.
This one cracked me up a little bit, and this is just them trying to see like what type of gamer you are, not necessarily what type of Bleach game you want to see. But survival horror was the next one. See if you're one of those guys. Right underneath
That'd be sick, actually.
Yeah, it could be cool.
Oh my God, a survival game, but it's like the hollows attacking you.
Imagine you're a soul. You're already dead, and you're like, you have to get out of the place without being eaten by hollows, and before your chain goes all the way up, before you become a hollow.
Yes.
Here's another one: management/simulation, like The Sims, Football Manager, City Skyline, Pro Cycling Manager. I've not heard of that game, but Planet Zoo.
That's gonna be Soul Society Sims.
There you go. You could pick. You could either run Soul Society, Hueco Mundo, or you can run the Varvelt when it's still in the shadows. You can really gain it up. I clicked this next one, action platformer. I was like, I'd fuck with an action platformer. Like, I'll take that. And they give Super Mario Bros., Hollow Knight, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, etc.
I'm garbage at that genre.
I'm gonna go through a couple of these. So then they have just regular RPG on there, and they list as Divinity: Original Sin, Disco Asylum. They have strategy/real-time strategy, and they list Civilization as an example. Here's for you, Pithes. Souls-like was a category that was on there. And they list Elden Ring and Dark Souls, Sekiro, Bloodborne.
Make Bleach Bloodborne.
Dude.
They list an action RPG like Assassin's Creed or Cyberpunk 2077. A shooter like Call of Duty or Battlefield. Battle Royale like Fortnite or Apex Legends. Racing like Gran Turismo, Need for Speed. And then we go open world action adventure like Horizon Forbidden West, The Witcher 3, Red Dead Redemption 2. Which is sick. Then they have MOBAs, they have survival genre, they have roguelikes, they have fighting, just like plain fighting games. And this one they listed Super Smash Bros., WWE, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Jump Force, etc. And then the last few categories is action adventure, sports, or a puzzle/platformer. I thought it interesting if you apply it to kind of the world of Bleach, like what would you like to see? I thought it was cool.
That'd be really fun.
This is a great one. So following that question, they immediately had this one ready. If you have any requests for new console/PC games based on Bleach, not just Bleach Rebirth of Souls, please feel free to answer what kind of gameplay you would like to experience. So this is a write-in option. So you can write whatever you want in this box. They're asking for ideas for a Bleach game.
Dude,
I'm about to pop the fuck off.
Bleach date sim.
Hey, I'm down for that as well, Jose. Like, as long as we're swinging both ways in the dating sim, I think that's fair.
100%.
Yeah.
So you're saying I could romance Renji?
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Oh, Pithes, you're gonna romance Renji, but it's gonna be high school warfare.
As long as Rukia is stuck in the cuck chair.
Jesus. Okay. And then the next question following that one, which is the last one that I screenshotted that I thought was of interest. It says, including your previous answers, please select all that apply to the new Bleach console/PC games you would like to play in the future. So now this is very specifically, they give you preset options. What would you like to see the most from an upcoming Bleach game or something like that? So your options are a story-focused fighting action game that lets you relive the Lost Agent of the Soul Reaper arc to the Thousand-Year Blood War arc, which I assume that would probably be Bleach Rebirth of Souls 2, just because it picks off right from the Fullbringer arc and goes to Thousand-Year Blood War.
I can't wait to skip all the dialogue in the Fullbringer arc.
A story-focused fighting action game featuring a completely original storyline. So this is basically the same one as the first one, but a new storyline. Then their third one is a fighting action game focused on online battles with a large roster of playable characters. I clicked that one. That's the one.
That makes the most sense.
There's some more interesting ones in here. So how about this? A large-scale battle action game focused on reliving the story mode where you defeat multiple enemies alone.
So Dynasty Warriors?
Exactly. Okay. They were Bleach Soul Resurrection.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Then they have another version of that where it is that same setup, but with a new story where you defeat multiple enemies. So that's not reliving. And then the last options that they give you, there's two, but they're the same thing where they kind of spin off of each other. An RPG game with a completely new story that focuses on Ichigo Kurisaki's perspective, or an RPG game with a completely new story featuring an original game exclusive main character.
Let me make my OC. I want to be in a wrong car.
Oh, yeah.
They're so cool.
Weirdly enough, none of these options had an OC character. Your closest one would probably be the RPG, but I kind of read that as like an original game exclusive main character, that it would be like they would create somebody already, you know?
Yeah. As long as I get to decide on what they look like.
Yeah, I think the Sword Art games do that pretty well, where you're the main character and it's an exclusive character of that game, but you still make the character.
Yeah, you're basically Kirito. I played one of them. You're basically Kirito, but they don't call you Kirito.
Yeah, you're your own OC. You're the little android or whatever the fuck you are. I thought it was interesting, and I like that it seems like Bandai Namco is hopefully planning a longevity for
more Bleach content
for this game. So I like that, although it is a bit concerning that most of their questions are about a new Bleach game.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you know what? We know there's some bugs. Like, you tell us what you've been experiencing, but hey,
we're not.
What if we could give you a second Bleach game? What would you like to see? And it's like, oh, okay, well, that's a bit concerning, but sure.
Give me the RPG, please. I'll pay so much money.
I have a few more Bleach things to talk about, like the Klub Outside question, things like that. But one thing I didn't mention at the opening is that we have watched Devil May Cry. And Devil May Cry right now is very contentious. Very, it's a hot button topic. I watched the full season. Pithes watched the full season. Jose, you're one episode short.
Yep. And
I gotta say, Jose, it makes me a little sad because there was something that happened in the last episode that made me laugh.
No,
it made me laugh, and I thought it was really good. So let's talk Devil May Cry, and we'll have a Bleach sandwich this episode. Ooh. So if you haven't watched Devil May Cry, it is by the Castlevania guy. Same animation style. It has Johnny Young Bosch that plays Dante. It has Kevin Conroy, one of the last roles that he did.
Yeah, it was the last role.
He is very center in this whole story, so you get a lot of him. His character, I also thought was funny at times. It cracked me the fuck up. It's worth watching, I think, for those two things alone, because obviously they're icons, especially Kevin Conroy. If you grew up with Batman the Animated Series, definitely give it a watch. They changed a lot of things from the Devil May Cry story.
Thank you. That was my biggest issue with it.
Yeah,
and
so
I didn't play Devil May Cry as much as you did.
Sure.
So I had to go back and watch like YouTube videos to kind of understand what a lot of it was. I'm like, oh, okay.
So, Pithes, do you want to give what did you think? So, firstly, Pithes, how into the lore of Devil May Cry are you? Would you consider yourself a hardcore fan? How deep are you into the series?
About 5 years ago, I was a hardcore fan. A whole lot of it has just gone from my mind, but it all came flooding back when I watched the show and went, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, high school Sam was really big into Devil May Cry. Loved Devil May Cry. I thought Devil May Cry 5 was fantastic. I do think I'm a bit of an opposite fan from most people because I really like Devil May Cry 4.
It's a good one.
I've heard people not be the biggest fan of Devil May Cry 4.
4 is awesome.
I really like that game, and that I had touched 1, 2, and 3 prior, but it wasn't until I played 4 and I loved 4 that I went back and I played the original ones. I have also played DMC, which is the controversial adaptation, and I thought that game was fine. You know, it's not our Dante, but in terms of mechanics, it was fine. What did you think of the series as a Devil May Cry fan, Pithes, as a whole?
I didn't like it at all, but I will say this because I'm going to be really negative. The portrayal of Dante was perfect. Like, I have no complaints. That was Dante. I went into this expecting it to be weird because, you know, Johnny plays Nero. But no, by the end, I wasn't hearing Nero. That's just who Dante is.
It's interesting that you say that, because one of the main complaints is that they have butchered Dante, and this is not the Dante that they remember, and they're not a big fan of like the jokes that Dante makes and things like that.
He was a little too like
it depends
happy,
on,
right?
It depends on which Dante you're talking about. Because Devil May Cry 4 and 3 Dante makes all the jokes. 1 and 2 don't really, and 5 is kind of a mix. So, it just depends. Which games do you like?
I will say, as a Devil May Cry fan, and I have a similar experience where my lore knowledge of Devil May Cry has been pretty much washed away. I don't remember much of it aside from probably anything that happened in 5 and maybe bits and pieces of 4. I really enjoyed the series. I thought it was good. I had no problems with it.
Boo.
I thought it went really fucking quick.
It was fast.
I zoomed through those episodes. In particular, I want to give a shout out to episode 6, where they do the backstory for Lady and the rabbit.
Oh my god!
I thought that episode
the way it was
really
done,
fucking good.
Yes,
really, really, really good. Where they just pretty much didn't talk almost all the way through it. I thought it was very cinematic, very nice. People have complained that Lady cusses too much. As someone that also cusses a lot, didn't faze me. Didn't even notice it until people started saying something about it.
I hated it. I hated how much she cussed so much.
Did you watch it in English?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we all did.
I didn't know there was another option.
Oh, I just assumed that there was another option. I didn't.
I just watched it in English. I just watched it off the rip.
I want to talk about an experiment that I did.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys can do this at home. Go to any time Lady is talking, and then do the thing where you skip ahead 10 seconds and see how many times it lands on the word fuck. 3 times in 1 minute.
I really loved Kevin Conroy.
I thought he was fantastic.
It kind of cracked me up that his name was Bane.
And
then also Lady's last name was Arkham.
Yeah.
That was really like just tripping me out through the whole series, and I was like, yeah, that's great. It's funny. I love it. Like, it's good. I really liked the character of the vice president, where he just like, God isn't gonna want me to die right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy.
The fucking airplane scene where he goes like, see, even the devil does God's work.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I thought this fight scenes were good. Nothing was. I thought probably the most impressive scene was Dante falling from the plane. I think that was the most cinematically impressive scene, where he's throwing the parachutes around to everybody.
Did you like the amounts of CG they tossed in there? I know you're.
I mean, that's just the style. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the benefit of the style, is that you can use the CG models and do it like that. It did not bother me once I started.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't
Except
that bad.
for,
I noticed
monsters,
it,
I didn't notice
but it wasn't an
CG.
issue. Yeah.
So people, let's get controversial. One of the hot button takes, and this is like legitimately the driving force of a lot of the hate for the series, is they don't like how they tried to make the demons likable, like victims, basically.
Oh yeah, like how
they do not like that. That is a very common sentiment that is being thrown around online on Twitter and stuff like that. They fucking hate that.
Because they humanize them, right?
Yeah, and they get compared a lot to that they're trying to push an agenda that is similar to like immigration.
Oh.
Where like the demons are trying to escape their hellhole.
But this
and
was
they're
filmed
also
way
just
before
good people.
all the current stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not filmed, but you know.
I guess Pithes, what's your take?
I didn't like it. I've always been a fan of Sparta was the exception, not the rule. Pretty much every demon you ever meet in the game is a horrible, evil asshole that wants to eat and murder people. And Sparta was just the one guy. And everybody that's not are like half demons or something. It reminds me of one of the things I hated about Ring of Power. Was they're like, look, the orcs are actually good and have kids. Like, no, orcs are supposed to be evil. Don't change anything.
Dude, we didn't even get there.
Oh, you didn't?
Just like that.
Oh,
no, we
bad.
just gave up on. We gave up on season 2. We're just like we were 2 episodes in, and I'm like, I can't do this.
Oh, Doug, there's a scene where like the orcs are huddling, afraid, and like hiding their children.
Orc bad, kill.
Yeah, orc bad. I could feel, and I don't want to get into anything too deep, but I could feel them going, look, politics. I'm like, but I just wanted to watch wacky woohoo pizza man fight demons. I don't need your politics in my Devil May Cry.
Pizza man.
I didn't get that at all. I was just kind of like, okay, I feel like they did a good job of setting up why that is the way it is, where basically the demons were like fucking everybody up. They were fucking up everybody. Sparta was like this general that was leading this war against everybody, and then all of a sudden he was like, you know what, nah, and then cut everybody off.
I thought that was hilarious.
And then it was like, you know, because I don't remember what's the main bad guy's name that's the ruler of hell.
Dude, they said his name like twice, I think.
I know.
The whole show.
I know.
Like,
did you know?
Wait, sorry. It's pronounced Mundus.
Mundus. And then they were like, yeah, Mundus couldn't get to the humans, so he just started fucking raising hell. Like, literally, like, raising everything that has to do with hell. And that's why they're like, yeah, so some of us can't literally breathe the toxins that are in hell. I thought it was an interesting mechanic during Dante's fight where he kept getting pushed into hell when he was fighting the one guy, and he kept, like, choking on the air. I was like, okay, I kind of dig that. It's a fun mechanic. Knew how that one was going to end.
Sick.
Immediately when the portal contraption got it shown, I was like, oh, someone's gonna get cut in half by this portal. Like it's just gonna fucking happen. I did not get bothered by the nice demons. I didn't think that was a thing, and I thought that led to a very cool scene, a really cool scene where Bane had them all killed.
Dude, when he calls it in, I'm like, fuck,
that shit
man.
was crazy.
That was rough to watch.
I really liked Lady was like, no, like we're gonna like turn leaf, we're gonna save these guys, and then Bane was like, what are you guys doing? Murder them all. I was like, oh shit, okay, all right.
And then they show how
Bane
it happens.
Is correct. Bane did nothing wrong.
Bane is like the Goblin Slayer, you know.
Yeah,
like,
he is.
You have to eliminate them from the root. You have to take them out. And I thought it was a great, very dramatic scene, and it led up really well to the ending of the series, which caught me very off guard. Were you caught off guard by the ending of the series?
What ending are you talking about?
Okay, so Jose, I'm going to spoil the ending for you.
Totally good.
They defeat the bad guy. They defeat the rabbit. Hell closes back up. It's great. And it's just Lady and Dante on this bridge. And Dante's like, hey, like you can come with me. Like I got to find my brother now. Like the rabbit told Dante that his brother's alive. And he's like, even that small inkling, like I got to confirm it. I got to go find him. He's like, you can come with me. Like we can hang out. And then Lady's like, all right. And starts following him. Just as they're walking away, I'm like, oh, this is great. They're going to start Devil May Cry. They're going to do their thing. It's going to be fucking awesome. She jabs him in the neck and tranquilizes him and takes him. And she's like, sorry, I have to turn you in still. I'm like, that's fucking crazy. And then Jose, the best part of the series, which made me laugh out loud, they start playing American Idiot. And they show Bane on top of a skyscraper having stolen the portal device. And he's like, this is the beginning of our holy war against hell. And he starts sending fucking choppers into hell, bombing everything, Jose. And you see like tanks are rolling into hell, taking everything over. They're shooting all the poor demons that are there. Dude, it made me, I think they set up prisons in hell, Jose.
Jesus.
It made me fucking laugh. I was like, that's
America
crazy.
America would.
And the whole time it's blasting American Idiot by Green Day. I'm like, and you show like they have Dante locked up and like cryogenically freeze Dante, and like he's like out of the picture, and they're like locking everybody up, and Lady's like, sorry, and like goes off to go do her fucking thing. I'm like, this is crazy.
So are they setting up for season 2? Like,
well,
season 2 has already been announced.
Yeah.
Okay.
They announced season 2 today. It's already been renewed for season 2. That caught me so off guard by these. I was like, in my mind, this is great. They're gonna form Devil May Cry. There's gonna be a whole little team. It's gonna be awesome. And then I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is crazy.
I thought you were talking about the ending scene.
No, that ending scene was so fucking obvious. That was crazy.
It's one of the things that Gabe was the most annoyed about. He's like, why did they have to spell it out?
Yep. So the ending scene, of course, Virgil is shown. They were literally using Virgil in the promotional art for the series coming out, and he does have a cringy as fuck line where they're like,
oh, it's the worst.
He's freeing all of the the refugees from the prison, and he I really like this as well. He's like, hey, you guys have Mundus to thank for freeing you, and they're like, oh, like okay, cool, like Mundus, and that is very political because now they're playing the political mind game, and I'm like, okay, cool, I kind of dig it. And so he's like, the humans don't know the storm they ride into. I am that storm, and then that's how the series ends, Jose. I was like, ugh! Like that's crazy, mate.
I like
crazy.
Virgil too. I remember Virgil being a fucking badass.
And if you didn't know, so when the White Rabbit met up with the one guy in hell, and he was like, I'm gonna hold on to the sword of Sparta for a second. He gave him Virgil's blood. That was Virgil.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That is Virgil in his Nello Angelo form from the first game.
And also, which was really dumb, so the like I don't know, the shapeshifter demon, the plasma
blue
guy.
dude.
He shows up as Virgil very early on.
Yeah.
Literally 2 episodes later, he's like, "Oh, I can only transform into people
who
that
are
are
alive,
alive."
right?
It's like, dude, well, that's fucking bullshit. Like, I obviously know Virgil's alive from the fucking game, but I'm like, that's crazy.
Because I was wondering, I'm like, this doesn't follow the timeline of the game.
I know, not at all.
So I was just really confused by the whole thing.
It is like its own storyline through and through. I really like the rabbit as a villain.
I thought the rabbit was really cool. Very creepy voice, too.
I like the.
He was cool until he got roided out.
Yeah. Which I feel like always happens to bad guys. They always they're really cool, and then they always have to. It's like fucking Batman Arkham Asylum.
Oh my god, yeah, I was just thinking
it's
the
like
same
they're
thing
all
with
really
Joker.
cool, and then they fucking roid themselves out.
Yep.
It's like, oh, okay, I guess cool, like whatever. Yeah, as a whole, I was just talking about this with someone. I was like, I don't think if you have played Devil May Cry, probably don't need to watch it. If you haven't played Devil May Cry, probably don't need to watch it. So I don't really know who it's for. It was not the best thing that I've ever seen, but I did enjoy watching it. I thought it was an enjoyable watch.
Actually, it's for people who know nothing about Devil May Cry.
Yeah, I thought of that as well. I don't.
My wife was enjoying it.
I think there's better things that they can watch though, and the one cardinal sin that I will give, and I will be on the opposite side of history from you, Pithes. I did not like Johnny as Dante. Didn't
Really?
like Johnny.
Well, you because you know him as
I fucking love
Nero.
Nero. He should be Nero. I think if they were gonna cast Dante, they should have been about Nero. And another, like, I feel like slap in the face equal to when they had DMC the game and the main character 1 Point Jose puts on a white wig and he's like, oh, not a million years, and throws off the white wig. And like that was like the biggest slap in the face to everybody back when this game came out, because it was like some fucking punk ass skinny tweaker looking guy, and then he puts on the white hair and he's like, oh, I would never do that because they tried to rebrand Dante. In this one, they play the theme Devil Trigger for Dante. That is Nero's theme. That is Nero's theme. That is bullshit.
Not only is that Nero's theme, it's the theme for the entirety of Devil May Cry 5, because that is Nero's game. And I hate this remix of Devil Trigger 2. It's not very good.
It was dog shit. It was so bad.
If they're gonna steal it, just play the actual version, the one that's good.
Dude, the actual one's a banger. It's so good.
Get the right license for it then.
They had it. It's right there.
They just remixed it into something else. They're like same, different.
And like you could tell, it's one of the things you could tell exactly what was going to happen in a scene, because he's falling and they're like, oh, you need to become the devil. I'm like, they better not fucking play Devil Trigger here. And then it starts and I got pissed off like crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. And it's like, there's not a solution, because they have to start, if they're going to do Devil May Cry series, they have to start with Dante's story. It just has to happen.
True. Especially
because it comes out that basically Nero is like related to Virgil in some way. Like they can't jump the gun on that one. I don't know.
Well, I think one of the issues with it is I think like the most popular voice actor for Dante, Ruben Langdon, like just completely retired from acting. So they couldn't get him back.
But I mean, get anybody else. Like, don't steal Johnny. Like, if this series keeps going, Nero's gonna get introduced, and then they're gonna just have somebody else play Nero.
Nah, they're gonna have Virgil make
Matt Mercer
Nero.
could have done that really well.
Virgil will find a human babe that he enjoys, and he'll make Nero in season 2, and then we're never gonna get a season 3.
And then if a season 3 does come out, we'll just have Johnny talking to Johnny. That's what they're gonna do. They're just gonna it's gonna go back to the olden times of the anime where they have the same voice actors for everything, and it's just gonna be Johnny talking to Johnny.
No, it'll be child
voice.
Nero.
Oh, so it'll be Johnny. Hey guys.
De-age my voice, guys.
It's like we're watching. Like, is that Johnny? Is that? I do want to say, serious note, I do think Kevin Conroy fucking iconic.
He's great.
So good.
I miss him so much, you know.
His lines throughout the whole series was fucking funny. When he reclaimed the portal machine, he was like, yeah, I knew there was a traitor from like episode 2. I was just waiting to see what you guys were going to do. Thanks for bringing that portal to me. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, I'm going to be really sad that he's not in season 2.
Yeah.
Who could you possibly get to replace him?
Well, there's people that play Batman that do a Kevin Conroy-esque voice.
They add a lot of that raspiness to his voice.
Yeah, but
I think what's his name? The guy who does Spike I think could do a pretty good job.
Okay, so here's what you do. The series starts off, he is commanding the troops of America to invade Hell. He gets clipped in the throat.
Thank you. It's a robot.
Yeah, and now they're like, oh, my voice is never going to recover. Somebody else completely. Somebody else. That's how you start off season 2.
They don't do it like Uncle Iroh?
They could do Uncle Iroh. It would be cool if they had like a nice little tribute or something to Kevin Conroy.
Yes.
Right, so can I get into some nitpicks I have? Very small ones.
Yeah. Hit it.
So are you, Sam, you're familiar with Dante's guns, right? His famous legendary guns. Ebony and Ivory. Yeah, Dante has 2 guns. One is white, one is black, called Ebony and Ivory. And I thought because he breaks a gun in episode 1, I'm like, oh, human guns don't do it, so he's going to go find the gunsmith, which is, I think, Nico's mom from Devil May Cry 5. He's going to make, he just gets another gun, and they don't ever do anything with it. That was very sad.
Hey, I really love their demon exploding bullets.
Yeah, those were so cool.
It was really, really cool. And even Dante's like, what the fuck? Like, why does that work so well?
Yeah, why does it hurt?
He did not like that shit. Dante doesn't turn the bosses that he beats into weapons, and that upsets me.
Okay, I didn't like that either, because I feel like that is core to Devil May Cry, where he gets some new swag every time he defeats somebody. That being said, he didn't defeat that many people.
That's true.
I feel like if we were to do a body count, I think Lady defeated more people than Dante did.
Also upsets me.
Dante defeated the fire dude.
Yeah,
well, I don't remember the fire dude's name.
But I
do agree he should have, in Devil May Cry fashion, picked up some new weapon or something.
Dude, he could have picked up their swords. They were fucking cool as shit.
He did use a demon at one point to fight like a boxing glove and like started hitting somebody with it. That was cool.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that, Jose, because in Devil May Cry 3, he gets those weapons, they turn into the swords, and he uses them for the rest of the game.
They look like Zabimaru.
They do. They're sick. So here's the tiniest of nitpicks. Agni and Rudra, they have heads, and I don't like that.
Okay.
They're like golems, weren't they?
Now, in Devil May Cry 3, they don't have heads. The heads are on the pommels of their swords, and so they talk to him throughout the game. Once you beat them and you turn them into weapons. So that upset me, and I'm also like, why doesn't Cavalier have a horse? It would have been really cool during the truck chase scene.
Oh, Can I also give a shout out? I loved Enzo as a character. Really sad they killed Enzo. Really sad.
That sucks because Enzo is like 1-to-1 in terms of how he's depicted in game and lore. Like, they got him perfect as well.
Just a shady ass
dude.
I
love that Dante loved Enzo for all of. He's like, you're consistently a scumbag. I appreciate that. Like, that's great.
Consistency.
And one of my favorite things that made me laugh also is when they were both taken as hostage inside of one of the trucks, and the demons show up, and Enzo's like, "Oh, you think they're here to save us?" And Dante's like, "You think they're here to save us?" And he's like, and Enzo's just like, "Oh yeah, you're right. You're right."
Their buddy cop act was the funniest shit, man.
Yeah.
So I did ask Gabe, because Gabe's a bigger Devil May Cry fan than me. Okay. I said, "What are your thoughts?" And he said he didn't really like the way they did Lady. Same with me. And he says, "I'm upset that Dante did not stand up through his sword like he does in every game."
Yeah.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Yes. Dante will be impaled like to a wall or to the floor with his sword, and he will just stand up and just rip his guts out the whole time and shrug it off. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. That shit's cool.
I think we could maybe chalk that up to the fact that he didn't know he was a demon until like halfway through the fucking series. So,
that's another thing he brings up.
I thought he always knew he was a demon.
In the games, he does.
Yeah, right?
He knows.
Okay.
He's a demon. He knows that he's Sparta's son. That's
it was funny for him to like figure it all out. And he's like, "Oh my god, I am."
Yeah, and then when he meets Lady again, he's like telling her like, "You know what? I'm the son of Sparta." And she's like, "How'd you figure that out? You turned into a demon?" And he's like,
"Yeah, like literally 10 minutes ago."
You think he'd figure it out when he gets his head blown up with a bomb and then just regenerates instantly.
I do love the fact that Lady goes, "Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. You couldn't come up with this on your own."
Mm-hmm.
I hate lots about this show. The chase scene set to Papa Roach was hype as shit.
It was cool.
I think that might have been the best part of the show.
The soundtrack was
overall it was really good.
I have no complaints about the soundtrack. It's a killer.
Yeah, my wife liked it a lot. She was just like, "Oh my god, this is so cool. It's so emo-y." And I'm like, yeah,
totally.
Then she hits me with she's like, "You told me Evanescence was going to be in here." And I'm like, it's like the music video, and you could hear it throughout the show.
I like that new Evanescence song.
It was good.
It's not as good as their best stuff.
It reminded me of their older stuff from like that not the Immortal Fallen album. The one that's a close up
man,
of her
their stuff
face.
used to be so good. Oh, you mean the best one?
Mm-hmm. The one that was on the Daredevil soundtrack.
Dude,
The Daredevil soundtrack was like 30%.
Daredevil soundtrack was fire as fuck as well, though. Really good. I put for movie soundtracks, I put Daredevil up there for it's got to be top 5. Daredevil's got to be top 5. Yep. And then I'm putting the Digimon.
Oh my god, yes.
Absolutely.
That's when we found out that Sam liked ska.
Yeah, fucking good. Really good.
So good. I have some of those songs on my phone just because they're
banger.
just so good.
I have them.
So do I.
I'm still one of the boomers that still uses Pandora, but I have finagled my Pandora to have that thumbs up, so it's perfect.
So good.
Oh, you know what? Here's a little segue. Speaking of the Digimon movie, I found out my local convention, the guy that voices a bunch of Digimon characters is going. So I'm going to get him to sign my Digimon the Movie VHS.
Oh, that'll be so fucking sick. That'll be
Dude,
so
you have
sick.
the VHS still?
Yeah, dude, I used to watch that forever. I got that. I think it's over here. It's the best. I'm going to get him to I believe he voices the main villain in part 2, the big freaky looking dude. I think he's also Wormmon.
Kokomon.
Yeah, Kokomon. Because I was looking at his credits, I was like, I don't really know this guy, and then it said Kokomon. I was like, back to the beginning. Unless I'm wrong, he's also Yami from Bleach, so I might have to get another autograph. That's about it. Oh yeah, Lucia from Devil May Cry 2 was shown in that episode where they capture all the devil hunters. She's the girl with the red hair, and she doesn't do anything else in the show, and I was very upset.
They're saving her.
Anyway,
wasn't there a blonde chick there too?
Trish?
Yeah, Trish. Thank you.
No,
I forgot.
No, because that's his mom, kind of, but not really. It doesn't make sense.
I was gonna say, like, it looks like his mom.
Yeah, she's a clone of his mom, I think, that Mundus makes, and she betrays him, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
Devil May Cry 1 is hilarious.
Okay, well, let's wrap Devil May Cry there, and let's swap over to a equally just as great thing, our Patreon members. Let's go ahead and thank our Patreon members. Thank you guys so much for your support, as always. We have been pumping out, I think we've been doing this for coming up on 3 months of captain's meetings we've been pumping out at this point. Yep. So if you were to join now, you get access to a huge backlog of Bleach Boys content, and our number one supporters are our captains and above, which include the Espada, Rolando A. Ramirez. We'll start with him first. Shout out to our number one Espada. And then we will go down to the bottom to our head captain, PV, Matilda, Rizix, Veronica Bermudez, Pickle Rick, Sarah Berry, Aether Paradox, head captain and Bount Chilsey, also Chad Zabuelo, Braxton, Diego Ace 3030, Rustin Pierce, Triple Rule, and Divine Departure dash the Messiah dash Still Bald Hater. So he stayed consistent with changing. If you guys would like your names to be read out loud on a Bleach Boys, you guys can support us on Patreon. We have a lot of fun different tiers on there with each different perks to their name. So be sure to join. If you join on one of the nice title tiers like a captain or an Espada, you get to immediately be chosen on part of a holy war that's happening in Discord. So you could you could be loved by the captains, you could be hated by the captains. Who really knows? But that's part of the fun of joining the Weebs Guild Patreon. So thank you guys so much as always for your support. It did just occur to me, I don't have any Weebs Guild times for you guys today. So let me go ahead and grab a couple really quick. Here is the first Seireitei Times I have for you. And this is one that John wanted it to be sent. We had a new person join the Discord to want to play me in Rebirth of Souls. And this is what he wanted to show the new guy for why everybody is so rude to me. So this one is titled Seireitei Times, Weebs Guild Leaders Wanted Criminals. And it says Sam makes his criminal debut in Wisconsin, brutally murders a prostitute in a hit and run.
Damn.
The prostitute is Josh in a maid outfit. So, and then carrying on, it says Sam, responsible for the Hindenburg, says, I thought the no smoking signs were just a suggestion. And lastly, this is a 3-piece Seireitei Times. Josh leads children into open war zone caused by Sam. And it's a picture of me in a jet. There's a lot of Roberts everywhere, and I'm just dropping Roberts like his paratroopers all over in this open war zone to just murder everybody.
And I want to send this to Josh. I need to find it.
It's pretty recent in the Seireitei Times. We also celebrated a birthday. So there's a special birthday. Well, you would think it would be Sam, but it's actually Chad's birthday.
Hey, let's go, Chad.
So, a happy birthday to Chad. And it's all the Discord members with their hand over the heart, including Jesus Christ is there and George Washington.
I knew he was.
So,
he's such a fan.
Everybody really showed up for Chad. And the article says as such, Praise be to Chad, founder and creator, worshipped by gods and leaders feared by Yuha Baha. All who don't wish the Great One a happy birthday will face the wrath of 13 Soul Kings and be locked in Mukin until Sam streams next, parentheses, an eternity. We gather here today to wish Chad a happy birthday, and then it shows Chad as a Captain America holding the American flag for his birthday. So happy birthday,
Chad.
I have finally figured out what Chad stands for, the cult that we have running in our Discord. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
So Chad is C.H.A.D, and it stands for Chad's having a discussion. That's what it stands for. So
yes!
If you thought it was anything more than that, you were severely mistaken, but it stands for Chad's having a discussion.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's bullshit, but I believe it.
And lastly, Seireitei Times. This is it doesn't look like I'm in it much, hopefully, because it's titled Divine Departure and the Trojan Horse. So it says Squad 3 Captain Divine Departure has recently uncovered their origins as an experiment by Aizen to inject Chad DNA in a simple farmer with a passion for his horses. He quickly became renowned for his Trojan horses and affiliation for Chad. Now he simply roams the Discord, relishing in the very thing he pushed away for so long, the power of friendship. And then there is one last picture in here, and your Bankai or your Zanpakuto spirit is in it, Jose.
What's she doing now?
Other news, Jose's Bankai spirit got caught up in the wrong crowd and started committing petty street crimes after being influenced by Sam's gang for dejected teens. She's doing some good work. So she's got a shiv that she's holding in her hand, still has a pacifier, still baby form, by the way. She has shivved the Queen of England. So the Queen of England is on the ground. Robbing her. She's been dead for about a year now. But
I gotta go yank on her ear.
Baby Nemu really got her. Joined by Baby Nemu is, it looks like 4 members of the Samunist army here. On the bottom left. And then Orihime is there, and Kubo.
Mama Hime's there.
Yeah. So it's kind of a tight little gang.
Orihime and Kubo
Get
do
it?
have
Tight
AKs.
Kubo.
And I just want to say, Baby Nemu is doing nothing wrong. It is never a crime to destroy the English.
Dang.
Yes, correct. So that is your Seireitei Times for the week. So thank you guys so much for your support as always. And if you guys want to check that out, or you want to get up-to-date actions in the best Discord ever, join our Discord. Link is in the description for all of those things. I do have an anime recommendation from our very own Diego Ace.
Ooh,
He wanted to give us a recommendation on something to maybe check out next. It's a brand new series that just started airing. It's called To Be a Hero X. I have seen the internet talking about it. It's supposed to be very, very good. He said he just watched the first episode yesterday, and he loved every second of it.
All right, I'm in.
Okay. So maybe next week. It's just only one episode. There's only one episode out. Speaking of, My Hero Academia Vigilantes is out.
It came out on your birthday.
It's officially out. I have not watched it.
Me either.
But
Is it?
I have seen people talking about it, and they said it's pretty good.
Oh, let's go. Hey, we'll have 2 episodes of that to watch.
Yeah,
And
get ready for Vigilante Cast next week.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What else? Let's wrap up with some Kubo news here. So as I mentioned, Kubo put a comment on Klub Outside about his fantastic dinner that he had. He said, I went out to eat with Tabata-kun from Black Clover and Matsumoto-kun from Kaiju number 8. Both of them were super fun to hang out with. The third photo is a menu is shaped like each of our manga volumes. Thanks to the timing, it kind of looks like I'm always eating fancy meals all the time. And I guess he went to a place that the menus are manga volumes. Which is
Ooh, I like
cool.
that.
And then out of nowhere, I don't know why it took so long, but the Core 2 soundtrack is officially on streaming. So you can now listen to it on Spotify to your heart's content. So now you could really play Bleach Rebirth of Souls and listen to the soundtrack at the same time and get the full anime experience.
Finally. I mean, I listen to the podcast. I listen to different podcasts, so I have no idea what the soundtrack sounds like, but okay.
And then we have 2 very classic Kubo Klub Outside questions here.
Oh, no.
Jose, I have it in my head. You're going to nail these answers, Jose.
I'm scared now. That's too much pressure.
Right. Jose?
I'm going to give you the first one, Jose.
Jose, I need you to become like Shaman King. I want you to grasp the soul of Kubo, put it in yourself, and embody him.
Okay, so let me read you the first question, Jose. Thanks to having visited the royal palace, Ichigo obtained an Asauchi for the first time, but did it also mark the first time he wore the Shihakusho as an authentic Shinigami?
As an authentic Shinigami.
So it's a good question, which is why you looked at me like that. It is a very good question. Jose, what did Kubo say to this?
Yes.
That is literally it. That's literally, he's just responded. I'm not even joking. The answer is yes. That
it's the first time he's been a legit Shinigami.
Now, there is some interesting connotations that I think come with that he now has a official Shihakusho and he's an authentic Shinigami as well. And he did not want to expand on that any further than he needed to. He's like, that it's fucking 3 a.m. in the morning. That's too much work. We're just going to say yes.
Make a fashion show tomorrow.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it. Like, I'm volunteering to do voice acting. I got a fashion show. I'm going out to dinners with other mangakas now.
So fuck cool.
And this one I hinted to earlier. And it says between, and this should be a very obvious guess. Okay. So I'm just going to ask you to guess who it is, Jose. Ready? It says, between Kisuke and Yoruichi, who is the one who came up with the idea of building a playground underneath the Sokyoku Hill? Building such a place underneath an execution space is really unsettling.
Kisuke.
Yeah, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, Kisuke. And even Kubo goes, Kisuke, of course. And he does add one extra sentence, as he's a frightening individual.
I actually would have guessed Yoruichi. That seems like a thing she'd be into.
I kind of feel like, well, so it's interesting because they ask who came up with the idea. So I could see it maybe being like, Kisuke's like, hey, like, let's make like a cool hideout. And then maybe Yoruichi ran from there. But no, Kisuke is the one that did it. He came up with the idea, put it underneath an execution, which really is probably the best fucking hiding spot. You put it underneath an execution space, you're chilling.
Yeah, no one's going to hear you.
Yeah, no one's, and they're going to think it's ghosts. They're going to hear you training down there. It's haunted. Like, it's done.
Just haunted. We've killed so many people up there.
Well,
it's a haunted burial
Hill
ground.
is sacred, so who's going to look there?
True.
Remember when Aizen...
Well, Kisuke obviously went looking.
I mean, remember when Aizen was like, I'm just going to kill all Central 46 and just hang out in the chambers because no one's allowed in.
Yep.
Smart.
On the safe lane.
So they both had very similar ideas.
Yeah. Both terrifying men.
Very true. So those were the only 2 Klub Outside questions from this week. The only 2. We didn't get 3, which I feel like he's been popping off 3 for the past few times. That's all of the Bleach news that I have, aside from Bleach being nominated for the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, which I think we're going to kick it to the captain's meeting. So there's one award that it didn't get announced for, which I think is fucking crazy. It's been announced. It was announced as a contender for 3. And the 3 that it is announced for is great. I think that's good. Love that. But it was not announced for one, which I think it deserves. So we will talk about that in the captain's meeting. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this week. If you guys have seen any of the Bleach Rebirth of Souls surveys, I would love to know what your guys' answers are. Let us know in the comments down below. And if you've watched Devil May Cry, let me know what you thought. Let us know in the comments. You align more with the Pithes or you align more with the Sam? So give us a shout out in the comments below. And be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We'll be back next week for some more Bleach Boys. That's it. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.